I was talking to you, Viraj, and exactly. I just noticed I was on mute. How are you doing? Hi, Cláudia. I'm going to make you a presenter.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Do you want to do a quick check on sharing your screen?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna do the entire screen. Maybe it's easier.
I've got a few slides I'll introduce with, but it won't take me long.
Trying to share is not working. Let's see, like this.
Oh, that's coming up now.
Oh, sorry. I can. Do you want me to get? Oh no, you're gonna. Let's see. Can you see that?
I can see your slide deck. Yes, it's not in presentation mode though.
Yeah. I'll. If I do.
Yeah, that's working fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I can only see
Yeah.
the screen, so yeah. Okay. Shall I stop sharing?
Yes, you stop sharing, and I'll put mine on there as well. So, is that going to work? I don't know. It's not going to be very easy for me to control that.
I was very scared of this. I don't know, not working. So I put my dashboard into the Tableau public.
Okay.
So it will be there. Yeah, just in case something went wrong. I don't know, because I only use Tableau public, so I didn't know if. Yeah, so I just put it there. It's done.
It's all done. Hey, Charlotte, how are you?
Yeah.
All good.
I said, "Hi, I'm fine. How are you guys?"
Oh, that's better.
Right.
There you go. Charlotte, I did send you something. I'm not sure if you received it yet.
On Slack.
No, in the post.
Oh, I've not had anything yet.
A bit old school.
No,
You haven't had it yet. Okay.
Not received anything yet.
Okay. Cláudia, I don't know how long you think your presentation is going for, but we got until 2:15, so hopefully that's enough time.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think, yeah, I try. I'm not, yeah, I'm not sure if it will take more than 30 minutes, but let's see.
Okay.
Maybe we'll, yeah, maybe I'll. Yeah.
Viraj was the first man in.
Oh, wow. Is that in America? Or where is 5:30 p.m.
I'm
now?
guessing in India the other way.
Oh, sorry.
Mumbai.
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you for joining me. Wow. Oh, so cute. It's a cat.
This is Oscar.
Love it.
He's just costing a lot of money today at the vets.
Oh no. Is he okay?
Yeah.
Yes. This is automatically on record, but don't worry, I will cut off the beginning part. So if there's anything you want to say that you don't want recorded, it's fine.
Everyone else, hi everybody. I can see people are joining.
Cool. Good to see my namesake here. Hi, Paul. Marianne, Trevor, Tommaso, great to see you guys. We'll give it a couple more minutes. Feel free to jump in the chat. Let us know what's going on in your part of the world.
What have you all had for lunch?
Hi, Marianne. Charlotte, I've had nothing for lunch. There you go. I've had
spag bowl.
Have you? Oh, wow. I'm intermittent fasting, so I'm trying to eat as late as possible in the day.
Oh, wow. A lot of coffee.
A lot of black coffee, yeah. A lot of black coffee and a lot of water as well.
Yeah, I like to always try and have my main meal at lunchtime, and then like a light supper later.
Yeah. Trying to get this formula to work in Power Query. Why would you bother doing that, Paul? Just out of interest.
Oh.
That's your lunchtime debugging session, is it, Paul? How much time shall I give it, Charlotte?
Give it till 5 past.
Okay.
Keep chatting.
Just keep chatting. Well, we've got an infiltrator in the chat with Microsoft Power Query going on. So anybody feel like debugging Paul's Power Query? Don't do it in the chat. Do it somewhere else.
Sorry, I can't help.
You're going to do it. You're going to go for it. I know you're an expert as well, Cláudia. So you're going to go for it.
Yes, Raj. The Tableau user group. I've got my little honorary Tableau user group member here. This is Oscar.
Although, to be fair, it's always fun to see the rubbish that people have to fix in Power Query and DAX. Makes you appreciate Tableau that little bit more.
Who else has joined? Hi, Nia. Hi, Hitan. Hi, Steve.
Hi. How many people are using Tableau Prep? I know how. Paul's trying to turn on his mic. Is that even possible, Charlotte?
No, so through Bevy, you can only come on camera or mic if we make you a presenter.
Right, okay.
Or a host. So the presenter for today is Cláudia.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Just wanted to confirm that.
Yeah, Bevy isn't like Zoom or MS Teams. It limits who can have a chit chat. I'm afraid, but please use the chat to have a talk to each other.
Yes, use the chat. We'll all pick that up, and likewise when Cláudia is presenting later, if there's anybody who wants to ask her any questions, then we'll facilitate those. So Cláudia, you don't have to worry about that. We'll either hold them to the end or we'll interrupt you if we think it's relevant at the time of your presentation. Okay, so let me kick off. Thank you everybody for turning up to the June UK Healthcare Tableau user group. We are now, as you may have, if you appeared last year, you'll know that Charlotte's been working really hard behind the scenes pulling these together, but she's also managed to recruit in Rowan, who's joined us from Interwork. So Rowan's unable to make it today, but the three of us are now facilitating across the board, which means we are going to be consistently delivering these tugs on a monthly basis. We've got the next few lined up already for you, and I'll let you know what's coming up soon on that basis. So there's Charlotte, there's Rowan, and my bad self. But more importantly, what else is going on in the world? Before we kick off with this month's tug ourselves, we just sort of let you know there's a few other things going on. There's loads and loads going on in the community, and I've cherry picked some which are happening over the next week for you. They're all virtual tugs, so you can join them from anywhere. On the 12th of June, which is Thursday this week, in the Food Bank Tableau user group, which is a US-based one, but it's just about UK-friendly from a time perspective. I think it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They're doing fun with formatting, which I thought might be quite interesting, because formatting is probably one of the things which is pretty challenging in Tableau. So it's always good to see how other people are doing what in that area. We've also got the St. Louis Tableau user group, which is doing a session on the art of data storytelling, which again is always interesting to see how people bring that to life. There's some good things going on there. The Scotland Tableau user group is going on next Tuesday. It's actually a hybrid event, but you can join that virtually. And they've got lessons from an IronViz finalist. So one of the 3 finalists in this year's Tableau IronViz competition was from Scotland, so she's doing a presentation on what she's been doing there. And they've also got something on Tableau map players, and you may or may not be aware that Tableau map players aren't exclusively just for maps. They're actually for doing pixel perfect KPIs as well, so they're quite an interesting thing to get to know, which is why I've put that out. And then lastly, there's a Tableau newbies user group. Now they go on a regular basis. They're always interesting to go on if you're not using Tableau that much, but of course maybe you've got some colleagues that you want to signpost in that direction as well. So there's the building Viz from scratch, which is a hands-on experience, which presumably means you'll be able to do a bit of a follow-on as well. No problem, Viraj. It's always a good tug for anybody that's developing their skills in Tableau.
Yeah, if you want to know anything about the Tableau newbie group, we have Viraj in our chat, and he hosts it. Yes,
indeed, one of the hosts. And it's a great group, it's got some really good support. They get some really good presenters in there as well, so it's well worth trying to go along. Viraj, I'm assuming that you changed the time zone depending on who's actually presenting. But today we have Cláudia, and I'd like to introduce you to Cláudia Tavares. She's a clinician turned analyst who speaks both languages fluently. She's got over 10 years in acute and critical care as a specialist speech and language therapist, and she brings deep frontline insight to her data work. Cláudia is now applying her skills to projects ranging from dementia and cancer audits through to performance analysis in sports. She's passionate about using data, not just to report on care, but to help improve it. So without further ado, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, Cláudia, and I'm going to hand over to you.
Thank you. All right. Alright, let's try to share. Alright. I can't see you anymore, but hopefully you can see my slide.
We can see your slides, yes.
Perfect. So yeah, thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to talk about a passion project I recently completed. But before that, a little bit about me. I think some of it was covered. So yeah, I've been working as a speech and language therapist for a few years now. I've started in Portugal, so I'm from Portugal, and then I moved to the UK 8 years ago, and then I've been working in NHS for more than 7 years. I didn't know about data analysis or data visualization until 2022. It was during COVID. I had to stay at home with COVID, and I was super bored. So I looked for a project, a course to do, and then I came across data analysis, and I'm like, oh, let me see what's this about. And ever since then, I've been learning and experimenting in Tableau, but also other tools, Power BI, SQL, a little bit of everything. But I really like Tableau. I think it's really fun to work with, and I really like data and its applications in healthcare. So I applied, and I've started a data fellowship program at my trust, so Barts Health, where I have more opportunities to work with data, clinical data, but also from an operational point of view, work with productivity and the metrics. Yeah. So today, I was really scared of this not working, so I just uploaded my project into Tableau Public, so there were no glitches. Hopefully you can see it. So today, I'm going to present you on this passion project that I've done, and this is a personal exploration of recovery following leg surgery. So I played basketball for many years, and as a consequence, I had 2 surgeries on my knees, so it didn't work so well. And then last year, I had to have a 3rd surgery. I was at home for 12 weeks, and again, I was bored, so I thought, oh, let's use data visualization to look at my recovery after the surgery. So what I've done was collecting data from my Apple Watch over a period of 18 weeks. So I've started 6 weeks prior to surgery, and then 12 weeks after the surgery. And those 12 weeks were divided into the non-weight bearing, where I couldn't put my leg on the floor. And then after that, the other 6 weeks where I start walking with both feet and start doing a little bit more. So then I explore activity, mobility, sleep, and my cardiorespiratory health. And what I wanted to see is how this operation and the post-op influenced my health. So then I used like these cards to travel through the dashboards. So let's see if it works. So the first one, I focused on some overall activity metrics, and I was inspired by the Apple Rings. I forgot to say, so I'm not an expert on Tableau, so some of these might be super basic for you, but with this project I tried to experiment and try to use different charts and ways of visualizing data, so hopefully it's a fun project for you to explore with me. So in terms of the overall activity metrics, I divided into the move ring, which is the average calories burned, and then the exercise ring, and the average minutes spent standing or moving. And as you can see, 12 weeks post-surgery, I was about a quarter down. So the pre-surgery was the full circle, and then I compared the post-surgery just to see how far behind I was. Yeah, and then obviously one of the areas that were more impacted was my activity levels and my mobility. So I wanted to have a close look into that. So I did another card, and yeah, so then I've explored. So in terms of standing hours, I knew that my target was 10 on average, not 10 hours, but 10 standing during the day. And as you can see, good news, despite not being able to move around much, I was able to keep on target. So in the non-weighting bearing, I obviously will use crutches to move around, but it was good that I was still moving despite quite a lot of pain. I do not recommend this surgery to anyone. And then in terms of steps, as expected, obviously, you know, he reduced quite a lot. So I used a lollipop chart just to show that. And as you can see, after the surgery went down quite significantly, and then I recovered to about half of the average pre-surgery. And then in terms of energy spent, I look at total energy spent, and then I use the tooltip just to give some detail about the breakdown between active energy and resting energy. And as you can see, 12 weeks after the surgery was just under 10%. So that was a good recovery. Yeah. And then in terms of mobility, let me show you. Yeah, there you go. So I wanted to look at my walking asymmetry, because obviously that was one of the most impacted areas of my activity and movement. So looking at walking asymmetry, which is the percentage of time steps with one foot are faster or slower than the other foot. And essentially, higher percentages mean more imbalance and more risk of falls. So I use a line chart, and you can see there's a daily average. And then here, this is the pre-surgery, and it's quite low. This orange part is the 6 weeks post-surgery, when I could not put my feet on the ground, and there's not many data points because obviously I didn't walk much. And then once I start being able to put my foot on the ground and kind of move a little bit, you can see that the percentage of the walking asymmetry went up quite a lot, as expected. But it's good to see that towards the end, here, he went down a little bit, which is good. And then to show the averages between stages, I did this line, and you can see, yeah, the walking asymmetry increased by 39% post-surgery, so by the 12 weeks after surgery. In terms of walking steadiness, which is stability, you can see that before it was okay. This is the max it can go, and then after it dropped as expected. And the good news was that I went up to an okay stability 5 weeks post-surgery, which is good. And then I wanted to look at double support time. And again, higher values show balance or coordination issues. And this is like, yeah, time with both feet on the ground and walking faster, and the type of surfaces where you walk can impact these percentages. So the expected number is between 20 and 40%, and I remain towards that, which is good. But you can see that after the surgery, the range was lower and it was above 30%. So there was, as expected, there was more balance and coordination issues, and it really didn't go down 12 weeks after that. So that was activity and mobility. And then in terms of sleep, I was really interested and see how the surgery would impact my sleep for the good of that. So we can have a look at that. So yeah, so my aim was to sleep for 10 hours because I was at home, so I had the time, I couldn't move, and also to aid recovery. So I wanted to sleep for more than normal or what is expected, but I didn't achieve that, as you can see. So these bar graphs show, time in bed here and then time asleep. So one against the other. And as you can see, the time asleep went up a little bit, but still just the average was just over 8 hours. And then I added in the tooltip, I added an area chart just to show the daily oscillations between time in bed and time asleep, just a bit of detail. And then obviously different types of sleep have different benefits or different roles. So I wanted to have a look at each type and see how that changed between stages. So in terms of time awake, as you can see, any was expected, especially the 6 weeks after the surgery. I was in quite a lot of pain and it was quite uncomfortable to be in bed. So as you can see, the time awake went up quite a lot. In terms of deep sleep, so is crucial for physical healing. Went down a little bit when I'm massive, and then went back up on the weight bearing. So after the 6 weeks post surgery, with the REM sleep, you went up and continued to went up. So that was good. And in terms of the core sleep, so the bulk of our sleep, also it went up and then reduced a little bit. So this in terms of time, but then I wanted to know in terms of percentages, how was I doing? So here on top, it says the average percentage that we should be looking at in a normal kind of sleep pattern. So and then I use the 100% stacked bar just to show the breakdown into type sleep. So the REM sleep is around 20-25, and you can see pre-surgery was within that range. It went a little bit down, but it was just about what expected, and then went up a little bit. So yeah, it was lower after the surgery than pre-surgery, but within range. In terms of deep sleep, you can see there's between 10 and 25%. It was between the range before, and then it went down below what we would like to see. And for the third, so after the 6 weeks post-surgery, just achieve the expected. So deep sleep, even though here there's not like a deep decrease, you can see that it was below what we would like to see. And then in terms of the bulk sleep, as around 50%, it was above that pre-surgery, and then it kind of remained above that. And then time awake, around 5%. That's what we should aim for, or what expected. So before the surgery, it was actually lower than that. It went up again due to pain, discomfort, and then reduced by to 3%. After the 6 first weeks post-surgery. So yeah, the sleeping hours increased, but I guess the sleep quality seems to have decreased a little bit with more time awake. And then as the last area I wanted to have a look, I look at the cardiovascular and respiratory data. And I was a bit concerned that with me not moving as much and the stress that my body was experiencing with all the pain and discomfort, I wanted to see how that affected. How was that affected? So in terms of the cardiovascular, I had a look at the heart rate, so which is calculated as beats per minute. To have a look at the range, I kind of modified a butterfly chart, and as you can see, the upper value went down, which is probably because I wasn't doing as much exercise, so my heart rate it wouldn't go as up. I didn't mention, but right after the surgery, my physiotherapist gave me exercises to do. So there wasn't a day where I wasn't doing any type of exercise. However, this was modified. So before the surgery, I would go to the gym, do a lot of bike, do a lot of weights, just to try to build my muscle because I knew that I would lose a lot of muscle mass after the surgery. And then after the surgery, there was range movements and some light exercises for me to not to lose as much muscle mass. So I was still doing exercises, which I think was good overall. And then in terms of heart rate variability, as you can see, so this is a good measure for cardiovascular, and from what I know, the higher the better, I guess, in terms of recovery. But you can see that after the surgery, it went down. And then, in the tooltip, there's like a daily variation, just a line chart showing day by day how that changed. And this decrease might be because of, again, reduced levels of activity, maybe poorer sleep quality, and higher levels of stress that my body was put through. But it was within, I guess, the range for me. And then I look at the heart rates in different kind of areas. So the resting heart rate went down a little bit, but not too much. So you can see, and then he went back to pre-surgery levels after the 12 weeks. Then the walking heart rate, I guess this is not very relevant because I wasn't walking much. But you can see pre-surgery was around 94, and then 12 weeks after was around 90. But I wasn't walking to the same level as pre-surgery. And then workout heart rate, as you can see, as I mentioned, the level of exercise was quite different, so they might have impact on the upper range. So you can see there's a deep down, and then it remain around the same. And then in terms of sleep heart rate, again, just went down a little bit and stayed there. So apart from the workout, it seems like everything stayed around the same. And lastly, the respiratory rate. So I was pleasantly surprised that the average range didn't change between, if you can see, it was around between 11 and 17, which is good. Looking at respiratory rates average per day, there's a bit of, a few outliers that I wanted to look at. So as you can see here, it was when the surgery happened. And then there was this peak there, might be due to pain and stress, and then some lower values. I can't remember when I had pain relief. I tried to stay away from that, but some nights I had to take some pain relief to be able to sleep and be comfortable. So maybe this might explain these lower values. Yeah, and I think that's it. Yeah. Do you any questions? Any thoughts? As I said, I'm not experienced, so it'll be really good to know what you think and ways of doing my dashboard better.
Cláudia, thank you very much for that. I really appreciated that. I'm going to let other people jump in. I've got a few questions which I might ask you, but I'm going to let other people in the chat if they want to jump in. But I thought that was really good. I like the way you split it all out, and obviously the 3 phases was really interesting. Let's see if anybody wants to jump in the chat with any questions. While they're thinking, I'm going to ask you a question. What did you learn about yourself going through the whole of that process?
Do you mean doing the dashboard, or
not so much the dashboard? I'll come into that a bit later on, but in terms of just monitoring your own activities before, during, and after that recovery process, did you learn anything about yourself in that?
Yeah, I learned that I think I was in better shape than I thought. I guess I thought my mobility and activity would go down much more, and it would take longer for me to go back to pre-surgery levels. I was a bit disappointed in terms of sleep. I thought I wish I had done better on that front, because it was I was really pushing for 10 hours, but unfortunately it wasn't possible. And then in terms of cardiorespiratory function, it was good that I didn't see anything massively different. So it was interesting. I really like to look at my data, because you don't get many opportunities to have this amount of data about yourself. So yeah.
So on that then, let's dive into the data itself. I was confused. I've got an Apple Watch. How does your Apple Watch tell if you're putting more weight on one foot than the other one?
Yeah, so you maybe it was because I was wearing my phone as well on my waist. So the mobility ones is when maybe I actually should have put that. Sorry, is when you have your phone on your waist. So it shows. I'm not sure if the watch collects some data from that, but if you have your watch, your phone in your pocket, that would be measured. That's what it says.
I was just surprised how it could tell that difference. So as you're then analyzing the data and you're thinking about how to present that information, tell us what you learned about Tableau in that process. Tell us some good things that you learned about Tableau, but also think about some of the things that you were surprised yourself out of as to what you needed to overcome.
So when I started, I was doing the more, I guess, basic charts, like bar charts, line charts, and I wanted to push, or try to push myself to do a little bit more, something more I guess not so much complex, but maybe different, I guess.
Different.
So that's why I try to do different types of charts. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, the radial chart I almost gave up because for me, I'm not super experienced, but for me it was quite complex. Maybe for you it was like easy, but it was quite complex for me. So I actually learned that I was resilient and I wanted to do it. So I I didn't give up, and until I managed to do the radial chart, I managed to I tried to do my best. But I think still it was really fun to use Tableau. As part of my fellowship, we're using Power BI, but Tableau is still my preferred tool for visualization. I really like to play around, and it's really fun. I don't know. I just love to try different charts and formatting and try to play around. So, yeah.
No, I think it was you did a good thing. I'm not sure if you looked at Viz extensions, but I think those radial charts is one of the extensions that Data Viz have released actually. But it's much more fun doing it yourself if you got the time to do that as well.
I did in the public edition. I don't have the Tableau, the desktop. I couldn't see the radial chart, but maybe
Okay.
it was there, but probably keep that.
You know what? I think it's got a different name actually.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
I will look into it, because if there's one, because this one was very difficult for me to achieve. So if there's a easier way to do it, I'll be doing radial charts all day.
Obviously, you've collected lots of data. I mean, you didn't do it yourself. The technology is doing that. Do you feel, but by collecting that data, it aided your recovery process, doing the analysis as you're going through as well?
Yeah, I think so, because I wanted to do well overall, but I wanted my data as well to show recovery, and I wanted to see an improvement. So I think it kind of pushed me a little bit more to do well, but also just I wanted to walk and get out of the house. So I'm like, I need to be a good student and do all my exercises. But it was good company as well, because I was alone at home for 12 weeks. I couldn't go outside. So it's really good company, Tableau. He helped me go through that phase.
I mean, I'm asking the question because I think there's a certain element of gamification there, isn't there? In a sense that you're actually analysing and collecting and looking at it much more rapidly than you would do if you're talking to just the doctor, for example. And I'm just wondering whether you feel that if that was useful for yourself, whether it's something that healthcare organisations should be thinking about, actually enabling people to not just track the data but present and report on it on a live basis as you go through.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I think there's some apps that you might be able to connect your Apple data, and then you can see on a healthcare app, but I'm not doing that yet. Maybe just for people to see their progress. Yeah, you're totally right. That would be good. Yeah.
Charlotte, how are we doing in the questions? Is anything coming through?
We're just having a chat about what watches we all use. So me and Viraj both have our Samsung watches. We're talking about. So I asked in the chat if anybody had visualized their own health data before, or if they have a smartwatch, what do you think of the visuals on it? And Viraj came back. He likes the heart visualizations that Samsung makes, which it has 3 strands and you fill up your heart kind of thing with your activity and your steps. So we were just talking about the general visualizations that come with our devices, as well as those that we create ourselves. But I was wondering, have you done any other little pet projects, Cláudia?
Sorry?
Have you done any other pet projects in Tableau?
Any other projects?
Yeah, any other little passion projects?
Yes, yeah. I've done a few. I have the public profile, and I've done one on. So obviously, I used to play basketball, so I've done one on basketball, like the free throws, because it's always a pain for people to have that. And then the Olympics games as well. There was a phase where I was really into football, so I've done one on Premier League. And then actually, as part of my data fellowship, I just finished the first project, and I looked at referral volumes and distribution within the speech therapy teams, just to see where the majority of patient referrals were coming from, and that informed the new SLT structure. So we were divided into 2, and now we're divided into 3 separate teams to help with patient flow and to help seeing patients more rapidly and hopefully help discharge. So that's one way. I also been applying data visualization at work, so that was fun. I'm getting more and more opportunities to explore data. And I think it's really important in healthcare to make everything more efficient and actually make decisions. They are data informed and not just, I think it's this way or that way. And actually we collect as well outcome measures for patients. So as you mentioned, Steve, for patients to see their progress, would that help them get better? So we collect outcome measures, how they did on admission and how they're doing on discharge. But maybe we can think about every week, tell the patients, how they're doing, and kind of do a visualization that shows them how they're doing during their therapy or their time with us, and maybe it will help them be more engaged and participate better in their rehab. So that'll be a good thing.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that, Cláudia. Really appreciate it. If we could clap, I'm going to clap. Thank you.
Thank you.
If anybody else is also thinking about, if you've got any other questions, obviously carry on putting them in the chat. But if anybody else is interested in presenting, just like Cláudia did, then please let us know as well. We do, and I'm going to share my screen again. We do have next month also sorted. So let me just share my screen.
Yeah, we've got slots available for speakers from October.
From October. Yeah. So plenty of time to prepare if you want to start volunteering. Thanks, John. Up next, we've got... Am I sharing? Oh, I've got to click that button up there. There we go. In July, we've got the John Hawkins from Tableau, who's going to be presenting. He is a... Solutions engineer at Tableau. Thank you. He's a solutions engineer at Tableau. So I'm looking forward to his presentation. He's been working with Tableau, a product in that area, for 6 years, I think. So he's got a lot of experience, a lot of extension there as well. We've got a couple of minutes. Should I do a little bit of a Tableau tip?
You can do. Do you want me to do the prize wheel and then do Tableau?
Oh, yes. Go on. You do the prize wheel first. And if people hang on, I'll do a very short Tableau tip as well.
Okay. I think you need to stop sharing so I can share. Okie
dokie. There you go.
Okay. So, prize wheel. Share my screen. Okay. So, I'm going to choose 3 lucky winners. Let's go. See who they are. Paul wins a prize. Paul, if you want to go in the DMs and give me your address, I will send you some Tableau goodies. Let's go again. Hitten won last time. I might do it again. If Hitten doesn't mind. Is that allowed? I'm going to give that to Thomas. It was very close. And Paul's already won. I need to remove Paul out. And remove Thomas out as well. Viraj, I did miss your name off because I figured you have a lot of.
He's only here for the swag, Charlotte.
I know. So Viraj is a TUG leader, so he has a lot of swag. He's also a TUG ambassador, so he has a lot of swag. But also, more importantly, Viraj, you live in India, and I can't afford the postage to India. I'm very sorry. This is only open for UK residents, which I maybe should have said at the beginning. So yeah, if Paul, Tomaso, and Nia, you can just DM me your addresses, and I will get your swag to you. And if you're on the call from last time and haven't received your swag, I will be posting it shortly. I'm very sorry, I got very busy, but I've got all your names and addresses, and I haven't forgotten about you.
Cool. Thanks for that, Charlotte. Okay, I'm just going to do a very quick Tableau tip because it's something I was posting on fairly recently. Let me just get my Tableau up. There you go. So this is for when you want to show dates in your visualizations, but you want to have a little bit of control over what your user can and can't do, for example. So if I just bring in order date, for example, and I want to show continuous months, I can do so, of course. But the problem, of course, is that your user's got these plus and minus buttons here, so they can break your visualization. And in my experience, if your user can or is allowed to break something, they bloody well will. So, for example, they can click on the plus and they can then drill in down from month to week, which may or may not be what you want them to do. So there is a way to overcome that, and that's to use this type of statement. It's called a case statement, of course, where we say when it's day, then truncate the date field to a day, when it's week, etc., etc. But that's quite a long-winded case statement. It does work, no problem at all. I can take my my old option, I can drag that to my columns, and in this case I'm going to select continuous because then I can change my case statement over from day to week to quarter to month. Now, what's good about this, of course, is that because you are actually just creating a parameter, you can choose which levels of granularity your user gets to use. So in this case, I've got all the options there from day all the way up to year. But for example, if your data doesn't go down to day granularity, then you can just remove that option from your parameter. If I go into my parameter here, we can see there it is. We've got day, week, month, quarter, and year. And therefore, I just removed the day one. So quite often, your granularity of the data isn't as granular as Tableau lets you drill down to, and that's where they break it. That's often the case. Other times, it will be when you've got calculated fields which aren't taking into consideration other granularities. However, you don't need to do that big, hefty, long case statement. What you can do instead is actually just have a calculated field which includes the parameter directly in the statement. So in this case, I've got data granularity. The only very small hack you need to remember is that in your parameter, you saw earlier on here, I've got the lowercase d, w, m, q, and y at the very beginning, because that's what Tableau needs in that date trunk calculated field down here. Your display as can be the capitals, no problem at all, of course. That's not going to make a blind bit of difference. But then our date calculation is much more simple. We just use date trunk, then the date granularity directly from the date parameter. And again, if I bring this in, I'm holding right click and drag so I can immediately select it. No, I didn't. I forgot to do that. And I'm going to select the continuous option at the top here again. And again, we bring in whatever granularity we've got in our parameter. And as a added bonus, I could either drag the parameter into our visualization so that we actually see the granularity in our view. Here you can see month. If I click on year, it says year now automatically. That's showing at the top of our visualization. But now in the later versions, I can also go into the axis, and in my titles, I can select the value of a parameter here. And that's going to put that directly onto the actual axis down here. So it's saying day at the bottom and year at the bottom as well. So that's a good way of embedding the parameter into the axis or the view. That was my quick little tip. Anybody seen that before? Yeah, 7 or 8 lines reduced down to 1 line effectively. Viraj?
That's a neat little trick. Thank you.
No problemo. I'm going to stop sharing.
Cool.
There you go. So
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I
what
think
do you-
that's the end of
what
us
do you wanna
today.
do? What do you want to do? Do you want to wrap it up? Or,
Yeah, we'll wrap it up unless you've got anything else you want to add.
No, just let me put the links. Yeah, you'll find while you signed up for this one, you'll be able to sign up for our future ones. Our next one, obviously, is with John Hawkins. The one after that in September, because we're having August off, is going to be with Miriam, who was on the call earlier. She's from Manchester, and in September, so in October, we've got Eva Murray coming to speak to us as well. So if you've got stories that you want to share, we have monthly slots open from October.
Excellent, thank you. And there's a little reminder for the other virtual TUGs. If you go back onto the Tableau user groups, there's so many things going on virtually. A lot of it is in our time zone as well. So if you want to see it during the day, have a look in there. The examples I gave up you were literally just for the ones over the next coming week, and I had to filter out some other ones from that list. There's lots and lots of good stuff. It's good, well worth signing up. Thank you very much for coming along, and looking forward to seeing you all in July. And thank you again, Cláudia. Brilliant presentation. Really appreciate that. Thank you.